Automated culling has finally been added to Lightroom with the latest Lightroom Classic update. But is it any good, and is it worth using over other third-party softwares that have been around for a lot longer? Well, let's find out in today's video. And I'm gonna start right now. So before we talk about this new feature, you want to make sure that your Lightroom Classic is up to date first, otherwise this feature just wouldn't be available. You want to make sure that your Lightroom Classic is either 15.0 or newer, or again, it just won't be available as it was added to the latest update. Now, assisted culling kind of does what it says on the tin. It helps you cull your photos, which is incredibly helpful to a lot of photographers that take a lot of photos day by day. For example, as a wedding photographer or events photographer, you might take around 2,500 to 3,000 photos per day. At least that's what I do. But obviously you don't deliver that many photos to your clients. You want to go through, find which ones photos are sharp, which photos are blurry, which photos that you might have by accidentally taken, remove them from the gallery and only deliver the 4 and 5-star photos. And that is what this tool is designed to do. Remove or reject photos that just don't cut the cake, basically. So let's go ahead and see how well this works. Okay, so what we're gonna do is open up this folder here on my desktop, and you can see we've got a whole range of photos that I've taken at a previous wedding. Now, in fact, I've actually already done this wedding, so I'll be really interested to see how well or what Lightroom chooses and what it rejects from the ones that I know that I've already edited. So what I'm gonna do is Command A, copy all of these photos and simply drag them onto my Lightroom to import them into my Lightroom catalog. Now straight away, you obviously get the import window here, but right at the top, you've got an assisted culling button. When you turn that on, you actually open up this dialog box on the left-hand side with a few parameters that we can adjust. So for example, we've got a selected section as well as a rejected section. Now in the selected section, we can choose how sharp our photo is going to be accepted into Lightroom. So for example, you've got subject focus. If you turn that on, you've got a soft to sharp slider, and it goes from 0 to 100. 100 being the most sharp photo and 0 being a blurry photo. And again, you can adjust that accordingly. The higher the number, the less photos are going to be selected by Lightroom. And that's the same situation with eye focus, because again, you don't want to have a nice sharp image, but the actual sharpness is coming from the background and the subject is out of focus. So again, we can also set that with eye focus. And again, you've got soft to sharp, again, 0 to 100. And then underneath that, you've got eyes open, which again, kind of says what it does on the tin. If the eyes are open, it will select them and it will reject photos where the eyes are closed. Because again, you might be taking a group photo and as everyone's eyes are closed, you're obviously not going to give that to your clients. So again, that's a really nice feature and we'll test that in a second. But underneath that, you've also got a reject section as well, and you've got 3 buttons. So you can reject documents and receipts, misfires, and exposure issues. Now, misfires are probably the most helpful for a wedding photographer. I'm walking around with 2 heavy cameras. Sometimes I by accidentally press the shutter button, I'll be taking a photo of the ground or taking a photo of my feet. Well, Lightroom should be able to detect that, and if you go ahead and turn that on, it should remove them from the gallery, as well as exposure issues. Maybe your photo is a bit too bright or a bit too dark, or is basically black because you've left the lens cap on. I've done that a few times. Again, it should automatically detect those photos and then reject them if you go ahead and turn it on. And then underneath that, you've got an auto stack feature, which again is another new feature built into Lightroom. Now this feature will help you kind of stack photos that look similar. So maybe you're doing a burst photo of the first kiss, for example. Well, Lightroom should be able to detect that and basically stack them into a similar folder. And then you can select 1 or 2 from that folder. And again, we'll discover how good that tool is later on. So what I'm gonna do is gonna go ahead and turn on visual similarity, which is the one that I have selected. And you can see we've got a whole bunch of different ones selected in that folder. Now, and you've got a slider here as well, so you can go for more similar or less similar. So for example, I like actually expanding this because again, I might try a different range of photos in different locations, but the location is similar. Well, again, we can change that within the parameters and you can actually see that, or you can turn it off completely and just go by individual photos. So for example, this is what I would do, or at least what I found works in the early access of this tool. What I like doing is actually selecting around 50 for subject focus, or actually a little bit less if I'm taking a photo of a large group of people. For some bizarre reason, even if a photo is absolutely pin sharp, Lightroom for some reason doesn't think it is. But the one I do like selecting is eye focus. I do like having that a little bit higher. Between 70 to 100 seems to work. If you max it out, you'll find that it basically selects 0 photos. So what I'm actually going to do is reduce that down to around 60 for this example. As well as I also like turning on reject photos without people's eyes. As I'm a wedding photographer, there should be an eye in every photo that I take, unless obviously it's some kind of detail shot, but I'll probably edit those separately anyway. So make sure that that is turned on, as well as turning on or removing documents and receipts, misfires, and exposure issues. Now, what's really nice is you can see which photos Lightroom has rejected and what ones they have accepted by looking at these little buttons here. So for selected, these are the ones that it has selected. So far at the bottom, you can see it's selected 127 and rejected 184. So you can see I might have had a few blurry photos in this photo shoot. As well as if I go to my rejects, you can see these are all of the rejected photos Lightroom just doesn't think is good enough. And again, if you go ahead and change these sliders, those numbers will change. So for example, if I lower the subject focus, you can see it's now selecting more. Or for example, if I drop the eye focus, again, it's selecting even more. So you really want to balance this to work out how many photos you'd normally deliver and then try and work out that number. If you only deliver like 5 or 6, then maybe you can have a higher number. But if you deliver lots and lots of photos, you might want to have a larger number. So it's completely up to you. Now, what's also nice is you've got a score per photo. So you can actually look at what Lightroom kind of gives it a ranking, 0 to 100, and you can kind of see why it's rejected it. So for example, so we click on this photo, you can see it says it's subject in focus, but it can't detect any eyes in this image. Maybe they're just a little bit too far away. So if we select this photo here, you can see this one says subject out of focus. It's only got a score of 42, with eyes out of focus, a score of 43. Now the eyes are lightly open, but it's actually saying it's probably a misfire. That's why it's actually removed it, and it's actually placed it in the blurry category. And then if we go ahead and choose another one, now obviously this one isn't one that I would select. You can see that the eyes are covered by the veil. If we zoom in, that's not a particular photo that I would probably give, but you can see why it hasn't selected it. No eyes found, and again, subject is out of focus. You can see that actually we completely misfocus on this photo. But if we go ahead and look at the selected ones, we can see, if we go and try and find one similar, this is the photo, it's a lot nicer, that it has selected. And you can see subject in focus, a score of 55, eyes in focus, a score of 95, and the eyes are lightly open. You can see them in your photo. So you can see which ones it has and hasn't selected and the reason behind why it has selected it. So once you've chosen that, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go to apply import. I'm also going to apply my preset that I usually do. So these are all the ones that we have selected. What I might do is go to rejects and actually not even import these photos. So I'm going to go for that. I'm going to turn off all of those. So we're only selecting, or basically choosing, the 145 photos to import them into Lightroom. So you can actually basically discard them before you've even imported them into Lightroom, speeding up the process of when you import, because that can take a lot of time. And then all you need to do is go ahead and click import. Now, as you can see, Lightroom's basically added all of these ones, and it should apply a preset automatically for me. So if I go ahead and choose this photo here, if I go over to my develop panel, give Lightroom a second, there we go. We've actually imported a photo and automatically applied a preset. Now, if you're wanting to know what the scores are after you've imported it, don't worry, you can. On the right-hand side of your library panel, you can see it says early access here. If you go to assisted culling, you can actually see all of the parameters here, as well as stacking, if that's something you also want to do. Now again, stacking is really helpful because you can actually see all these photos here. I'm obviously not going to deliver all of these photos, so you can auto stack them. Let's go ahead and click that button here. And you can do stack by visual similarity. And again, you've got that slider. So for example, I'd probably go for more similar. I'll go for something like so. Click stack, and it will automatically stack a whole bunch of photos. So if we go back to this one, if we go in this folder here, this stacked folder, you can see we've got a whole range of photos that we can choose to find the best one of that specific scene. Very, very helpful. But of course, it's still an early access tool, so it's not going to be perfect. So write it down in the comments below how well this works for you, and is this a tool that you're going to be adding to your editing workflow, or are you someone that's maybe going to be still using third-party tools like Aftershoot, for example? I actually find if I did a direct comparison, Aftershoot is probably going to be a little bit better. But of course, this is a new tool, so they're still working out a few of the kinks. So make sure, write it down in the comments below what you think of this tool and Would you use it for your editing workflow? Thank you to all of my YouTube members that are currently supporting the channel. If you guys want to support the channel and get some awesome perks, including free Lightroom presets and get to watch videos before they go live on YouTube, make sure to go ahead to the link in the description. I've been James for Photo Fever, and I'll catch you guys on Thursday.